What's going on, y'all? It's the middle of 2019. Companies are still acting as if it's 2005 to 2010. Xbox, this should not be a failure at all, but due to the lackluster of incompetence through the company, the all-digital console you're coming out with next month is going to be just that, a massive failure. Now, I have said on this channel several times, memory, the hard drive size, is a big determining factor when trying to go all digital. Myself included have come with several arguments as to why, and I understand digital. I really do. I understand the digital market. I am an all digital connoisseur when it comes to the Xbox One. I've never bought a physical copy of anything for my Xbox One. It is all digital, whether I go to GameStop and pre-order it through them and it be an all digital copy because I can pay on it, little by little, and then by the time it comes out, it's all paid for. Whether I do it that way, whether I pay for it all at once in one lump sum through the Xbox Game Store, whatever they call it, I don't know. Whatever way it be, I've noticed this. Memory plays a much bigger role when talking about all digital. The size of the hard drive, not only externally but internally as well. Xbox, a 1 terabyte Xbox One S isn't even the biggest hard drive you can get in the Xbox family. I mean, for real. The Xbox One Slim has 2 terabyte models, making the all digital console already more irrelevant than the Xbox One S with the damn 4K Blu-ray drive. Already the digital console has a slight against it. Already. And it's because if you get it with a disc drive, you can find a 2 terabyte model and still be able to watch 4K movies, stream 4K and all that shit. You can still do that. Now you can stream 4K, sure. But the fact that this has 1 terabyte and is supposed to be an all digital console is a bigger slight against it being a success than most people want to admit. Most people don't want to talk about the hard drive size because they know for a fact the size of that hard drive internally means more than the power being put out. And I know that's a huge statement to make, but let's look at this logically. We're moving to an all digital future. We're fixing to have no more physical content within video games. That is coming relatively quick. If it's not at the end of this generation, believe me, it'll be the beginning point of the following. Okay? And when you look at that, when you realize games are not as compressed on Xbox or PlayStation as they are with the Nintendo Switch, you realize the space factor really determines whether or not you want to buy said system. Now, I understand PlayStation 4 is an exemption to the rule, but unfortunately the actions and the consequences of 2013 were so deep that it didn't matter. The reality of it is this: Xbox, you stumbled so bad that it didn't matter if PlayStation 4 would have launched with a 128 gig hard drive in it, because you failed so bad in 2013. You haven't been able to get away from the atrocities, the devastation that 2013 had. You have not been able to get away from it. You've done great work since then, but you have not been able to escape that. Okay? PS4 came out with a 500 gig. 500 gigs. Barely even enough memory to begin this generation off. They started with 500 gigs. Yes, the Xbox did it as well, but Xbox saw a problem with 500 gigs early on, and they rectified it with a 1 terabyte model before ever releasing the Slim. So they had justified by, 500 gigs isn't enough. We hear from all gamers, whether you're PS4 or your Xbox, 500 gigs isn't enough, so we'll boot it up to a terabyte. Great, that's good, but with progression here, you have to progress on everything, not just size of the damn console, but size of the hard drive as well. And they kind of did that. They came out with a bullshit 500 gig S. They came out with the 1 terabyte as well. But what came with the S was the 2 terabyte. 2 terabytes came in the form of a white model and the Gears of War 4 model, and I'm pretty sure that's it, but I'm not 100%, so don't quote me on that. But 2 terabytes became kind of a, a regular thing when looking at Xbox. They were already 2 terabytes ahead of the fucking PS4 by the time the Slim launched. Okay? They were already ahead because when the Slim came out, it was already known the Gears of War model was going to have 2 terabytes in it. Bam, that is a full 1.5 terabyte size hard drive more space than PlayStation could ever hope to have. With the launch of the Slim PS4 and the Pro PS4, we saw PlayStation finally become a little bit more pro-consumer by adding in a standardized 1 terabyte model to the PS library, to the whole family. Not only that, but they also they finally let their entire customer base play on whatever hard drive external they wanted, meaning you could plug in whatever hard drive and it'd be just fine. However, from 2013 until about 2016, that wasn't the case. We are going into an all-digital future. If the PS5 launches with a 1 terabyte hard drive in it, you can damn near bet it won't sell. It won't. We're in 2019. 2013, a terabyte was already obsolete and meant nothing. In 2013, here we are, it's 2019. Xbox, you're going to release an all-digital console with 1 terabyte. It should already be relatively cheaper. The fact that it doesn't have the 4K Blu-ray drive in it should already make it a cheap-ass console. But no. You want $250 for an all-digital console with a hard drive that has already been obsolete for well over 5 years. Congratulations, you played yourself. So when this fails in 2019, which it should not, don't bitch about it. Don't let Uncle Phil walk out on stage with his head directly up his ass talking about, I don't understand why it's not selling. Really? Because it's the same fucking formula as to why PlayStation Vita failed. It's the same reason as why PSP Go failed. Because hard drive space, the size of your hard drive, matters more than the power put out by the console. If you buy the console but have no space for the games, why buy the console? If you're thinking about buying the all-digital console, but you want games that are as big as Red Dead Redemption 2, please don't buy it, because you're not going to be able to house that many copies of games that big. Red Dead Redemption is already over 100 gigs. So when you're getting that whole 800 something gigs that you get from a terabyte, it's more like 600 something gigs, because Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to eat up over 100. You feel what I'm saying? This is a simple mess up that could easily be fixed. Look at me. You look directly at me, Microsoft. Uncle Phil, Major Nelson, Major Faggot Nelson, fucking asshole. Listen to what I'm telling you. I am an all-digital connoisseur when it comes to the Xbox One. I have 4 terabytes on my Gears of War 4 limited edition Slim model. And that's still not enough room for all the shit that I've either purchased or downloaded through Game Pass or you give away from month to month, because it's 2019. 2 terabytes wasn't even relevant in 2016. We are in 2019. You can legitimately run out right now and buy anywhere from an 8 to, I think, 24 terabytes. Anywhere between that, if I'm not mistaken. I know 8 terabytes you can get, but I'm not sure where the cutoff is. So the fact that you're releasing a 1 terabyte all digital model is going to fail, and in 2019 it shouldn't, considering how generous you have been to people like me who are all digital connoisseurs. Okay, This is why it will never take off. You guys are like, we're pro the digital connoisseur. We're going to release an all digital console for you guys, but we're not going to be pro digital connoisseurs when we release this. Xbox. Once a 1 terabyte comes out for the Nintendo Switch at an affordable cost, you are going to be relevant no more. I don't care how powerful your console is, because convenience is king. I've said that I don't know how many times on this channel. Convenience is king. If you had conveniently put anywhere between 4 to 6 terabytes in an all-digital console, you could have still made it relatively cheap, even if it came out at $300. The fact that it had so much more memory than anything offered by both Nintendo and PlayStation would have put you over the top. Over the top. And there's not one person that's going to argue that fact. Not one. Because who in their right mind, who is an all-digital connoisseur, is looking at the Xbox One Slim all-digital console going, 1 terabyte, that's plenty of space. Not one person. Not one. Not even your biggest fanboy is going to approve this. Because they realize you can have all the power in the world, you can run it buttery smooth, and it looked great, it looked better than the pornos in 4K. It doesn't really fucking matter at this point. The point is, you don't have the space that all digital connoisseurs need. That is the biggest flaw here. You can stream in 4K, whoop-de-doo. The price of what you're getting doesn't match. It's not good for you. It's not good for the connoisseur. It's not good for anybody. You are launching this sorry, sad excuse of a system next month. You have time right now to run in and go, let's tear out that 1 terabyte and let's put a decent amount of space in there because we want this to sell. It's already cheap enough because we tore out the 4K Blu-ray player in it to knock off a couple $100. What if we sublet that money with hard drive space? People would more than likely be happy to pay $250 if they got a 4 terabyte model and it's all digital. You'd be more than happy. I know I would. $250, 4 terabytes? Internally? Plus I got a 2 terabyte external drive? That's 6 terabytes. That's more than enough space, even with games as big as Red Dead. That's more than enough space. In 2019, that is the relevant amount of space needed. Next generation, like I said, PS5, Xbox, whatever you're coming out with, if it has 1 terabyte on day one, it will fail. It will. You will sell in comparison. Do you understand me? That hard drive space. I know plenty of people out there, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Get out of your feelings. Hard drive space matters more than power now. Okay, you can have the most powerful ejaculation in the world, but guess what? It doesn't fucking matter if you have no kids. You see what I'm saying? You can have all the power in a console. Cool, but can I save them? Am I going to have enough room for all the games that are on this console? No. So then why would I buy it? This is the question you need to ask yourself, Xbox. Why would anybody pay $250 for a 1 terabyte all digital anything? It's the same stupid question Sony asked back in 2011, and they failed. Who in their right mind is going to pay upwards of $250 for a handheld that doesn't even have adequate space on its hard drive to hold 3 fucking games? Same question. Different time. Should have been an easier answer. So when this fails, Uncle Phil, don't go on E3 talking about, I don't understand, because you've done it before. You did it when Halo Wars 2 failed to sell in the midst of an RPG battle. You did it before, so please don't do it again. When this fails, just look over at Major Nelson and go, you're an idiot. Major Nelson, look back at Uncle Phil and tell him he's worthless. Because to me, you're both completely incompetent and shouldn't even have these jobs because you haven't figured it out yet. You have a really powerful console that is utterly useless because the one thing that matters more than power is memory. If you have the games looking the best on the console, but you don't have the memory to suffice the reason to buy the damn thing because you're going to buy games, then you have initially hurt every reason to buy the damn console.